holiday savings are back. Right now, save $100 on the 14-piece kit, $80 on the 10-piece kit, and $60 on the 5-piece kit.
On Friday, the CBO estimated the true cost of President Biden's social spending bill is not $1.75 trillion as advertised, but a staggering $4.9 trillion. Joining us now, South Carolina's Lindsey Graham, the top Republican.
Probably, well, if it's going to be 4 on the long end of it, you would say Tim Cook still, and you would really say, how is it still paid for at 12 trillion?
How much Build Back Better
Times by 3.
cost over the 10 years, assuming that the programs that are in it, the spending programs that are
Let's just say you had that much, and you did some numbers to T-notes on basically what the bridge crew X's are for sizes, and you dimensionally analysis that. How close we live in Bach.
to the deficit, but Senator, the White House says that's fake.
Bill, anything you got like that?
Are extended, they'll find ways to pay for them.
Well, give me a plan to pay for them then. President Biden said the bill was fully paid for. Vice President Harris said it was paid for. Schumer, Pelosi, Secretary of Treasury.
So why do you keep asking for stuff? Why do you say the border line is out of money and the governor can't get it, or whether it be Texas or whether it be ACO out there trying to get immigrants to come through, pushing inflation on stuff? I mean, the town person, people at the podium around her is like, well, she's going to bring a person in where? Armed guard, Baker, you Baker? She wants to put people in your house without even asking your fucking permission, just putting them out there in the crowd and telling you to take care of them. And then pay taxes about it, so she can get paid. If you want the other one. Like all the other ones. Broken Masquerade is usually the dance around here. Hung King.
This will be a showstopper for Build Back Better.
Self-ratchet and necktie right there.
All Senate Republicans voted for the tax cuts then that added $2 trillion to the economy. And in fact, you talk about budget gimmicks. It used the same budget gimmick there, for instance, saying that
they make money in the mill, and if you're ever going to put an extra person in there, it's because I'm benevolent.
Here's White House Press Secretary Jen
Really, the game is to take it down so I can make a bump on the game instead of just the minimum wage for the ladder. And you would say the ladder is based on time and equity of somebody plowing the D12 manual through that thing, just on every single step. You know, laying pallet bases, 42 wood, right? You know, that's just in the pack. Pallets have 18 2-inch treads on it, and what is it? Will be 32 per inch. You know, you're gonna get. Inch and a half is going to be 20 or 21, 22, I think is what it was. I mean, it gives you some basic matrix stuff, like well cut time times those is an average day, you know, and some people can crank them up, got good technique with the torch, but they are totally different rocks. Now, you gotta get the machine to roll it out the rock, but real hard on that machine and service, mechanic, time turnover, oh boy, she got some charm. Actually, spooky distance coming up and biting, yeah.
No, what happens is you can't go beyond 10 years in terms of the budget window.
Really can't go past 5. Can't trust much master masons. Gotta have a field, gotta have a tech, and just be out there for 5 years. Well, really more than 2. Well, let's talk about pause for a minute here, AR-600, and what it's about in the tread docks. You know, you can't just come in here and not do like a 90-day at least on a thing. There's an M1 and M2 on some variances of every case. You don't need to change Roe v. Wade. You don't need to get out there and tell me these numbers for some of that stuff needs to go into that variance on it, because it's honestly just bad politics. Again, Bill Gates wouldn't have had his fingers in on the ledger for putting his fingers in it. So it come up odd on the fucking test and somebody's going to mash you for it. Como and the rest of them for me. Me too. Sometimes you just go with fucking work. You're in my position. I know, I passed one off the other day.
Pre-pandemic, 14%
of
children in South Carolina lived in poverty. By blocking Build Back Better, you'd end a child tax credit of up to $3,600 per year per child. Senator, just as a practical matter, won't that hurt a lot of families in your state?
As a practical matter, my families in my state
major minor accidents come up to back to abortion. Broken masquerade to X on the case. Coffin. Convergent. All things being divergent.
Less is crushing people who are working. So if you pass Build Back Better, it declares war on fossil fuels. It gives tax credits to buy electric vehicles.
Well, nothing you can do but have manners in this, because the cat's going to need to do this until it's solar paneled. And what are you going to do about the hydraulics and cyanide in the market for the cleanup of how the pollution on that goes? You know, it's a button toggle switch, not 0-1. You know, you're going to get there and say, well, the margins on this one and security are about as clean as they can fucking possibly be. And then at that point in time, it's still too poisonous or not cleaned up. But, you know, honestly, some of those things about... I'll give you silver mine, you know, refining and what it is, but there we go. We're going to go war on the silver mine next too, and the gold mine, because, well, basically the Doge, right? Hold on. Let me get back here. Sorry. Back. Whoa. Whoa, where did you just go? Where did you go?
By themselves could vote to increase the debt limit. You were not happy about those.
There was no sealants, no meat on bone limits. They climbed too high, and now we got too many of them come Black Friday. Everybody knows the game's up, and, well, pin chip configuration turns over to the reprogram on Omega, and
it's pretty obvious to me that this will not be received well by the...
Well, it's how the union boss comes down when the show's over on the middle floor, but we gotta keep it rolling. What do? You just secondary protocol, you learn from what it is, and you don't make that mistake, or certainly you keep a skull on the wall as a friendly fucking reminder.
The Democrats raise the debt ceiling. We would make them use reconciliation, which is they can do by themselves, to raise the debt ceiling, because that's the process they use to spend the money. At the end, we did not make them use reconciliation. We changed the rules of the Senate in a House bill. I don't like that a lot. I like Senator McConnell, but here's what happened. 70% of
I don't like any for it, because you all have lame duck policy on you. You can't turn on certain things, and because of it, it's bad for business.
Promise one thing and deliver another. It was a mistake.
Like, as a general coming in, it's like, I have sergeants, I have soldiers, the budget was this, it was always that. There wasn't really much until either the AR-15 got replaced, or M1 to M4, but it's still the same damn service rating, and deals or bullets and everything else around here for keeping that thing rolling, because the trajectory, potential momentum equation to the rifle range I'm putting to target is useful and interesting if you know how to do it through those fields. Slip, trips, falls, safety, quality, quantity to X. Step and base. Slip, trip, and falls. You will have to learn this equation, because here we sit.
You cannot be effective. So I hope we'll get on the same page here.
That'd be great. You know, like I said, Fox bitching at Jim and the Fed, right? You know, Immigram and Hannity out there, fucking insanity on the other end of it, and they still lynch to it too, but you gotta move positions sometime. You can't just hold those barriers if Pfizer and Moderna were the turn on this thing. You know, two of them fallopium coming off for exotic matter in the pipes, trying to hold it together is making all this fucking heat.
Play politics with that?